Hey, 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 hey. Aurelia Wynn checking in. Look, today is so exciting. I have three lovely authors joining me. We are just going to talk about our books and just the impact that each of us make on the Black community. If you're not aware, Juneteenth is right around the corner. And so I thought it would be a good idea to get a few ladies on to sit and talk with me about their books, and just to talk about our impact on the Black community as women, as authors, as writers. Listen, creators are making the world go round. Anybody who's creating content, anybody who's creating books, anybody who's writing for TV shows and movies, and without creators, without writers, this world would not be able to survive. And so I really just wanted to touch bases with some of these ladies. Hey, I see you. Let me go ahead and send you an invite on stage. Hey, them are here now, so we are going to get this going. Hey. I have another one coming on in too. One sec. Let's see if she got the invite. Hey. There's one more. I don't know if she's going to make it. Oh, she left. Okay. Let's see. What happened? Let's see. Okay. All right, y'all. Just inviting these ladies onto our digital stage. I don't know what happened with her. Anyways, how are you doing? They're coming, I guess.
I'm actually really good. I just got off of a really good Zoom. It was like a Dragon's Den kind of pitch thing, and I won. So more details will be coming tomorrow. More poetry.
What?
Yes.
That's amazing. Wait, tell us what you won again. Like, we can kind of barely hear you.
Oh, you can't hear me?
It's kind of low.
Maybe because I have it like that. Okay, let's figure this out. I guess I should hold it. Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you better.
Yeah. So I had like a Dragon's Den type of pitch thing. I'm trying to bring like poetry concerts, arts concerts to my city, and I made it to the finale, and I won. So
okay, congrats!
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That is awesome. See, look. Oh, hey, there you are. What's up, girl?
Hey, friends. Sorry about that. I was discombobulated.
Okay.
Nice to meet you guys.
Thank
you. We're waiting for one more, but I don't know if she's gonna make it. So we'll just go ahead and get started. I want to be, cautious of y'all's time and stuff. And so I know who you lovely ladies are. Can we start with some intros? Maybe we'll start with, let's see, who wants to go first?
You can go first.
I'll go first.
Sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
So my name is Ty, Tanisha Turnant, and I'm the author of Bearing Fruit. It's a poetry collection that I actually wrote while pregnant. I'm Canadian, but it can be found in libraries all across the world. It was a bestseller when it came out. The illustrations are done by my husband, and I'm just kind of documenting my pregnancy, but I'm like real with it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm real. Yeah. Like, when I was like, I don't know if I can be a mom, I'm like, I don't know. Like, you know, but towards the end of the book, like my chapters are actually trimesters. So you get to see my like development in becoming like ready to be a mom. And yeah, it's been a great journey. I'm actually nominated to be my city's poet laureate. So that's awesome. And yeah, I just love writing. I've been doing a lot more spoken word performances and stuff. I'm actually going to be throwing my own concerts in my city arts concerts. So that's what I got going on, you know.
Nice. Okay.
Awesome. Very cool. Well, hey guys, I'm CJ Charles. I am the author of My Mother's a Superhero. It's a bilingual children's reader. It's actually going to be a bilingual series, working on book number 2 right now. And it's just my love letter to my mom and to motherhood in general. And it's going pretty well. This is my 3rd year having it out, and it's finally starting to pick up momentum. It took a while. But I think it started to pick up when I started to work it. When I just started going out, meeting people, I would see posts. I'm like, oh, I'm going to go out, bring a copy of my book. Hi, I'm CJ. You know, read my book. What do you think? Everybody from La Quinta. So it's been working really well. I've started vending like crazy, meeting so many incredible people, getting so many leads. And so right now, my goal right now is to get into libraries and to get into museums and to do readings with kids, just really get with kids one-on-one in small circles and really get my book out there that way. So yeah, so that's where I am. That's great to
Nice. Yay. And so I guess I should introduce myself too, since we have everybody's platforms on here, but I want to say I have each of these ladies.
Yay!
So this one is CJ's book. My daughter has been loving it. And then
Awesome.
Ty's book, Very True. I've been
Beautiful
reading
cover.
that, okay? It's a little, yeah. I've been reading it. And then here's my latest book. It's called Gratitude Poetry, Thank You Poems.
Wow.
And so I'm an author, publisher, and a bookstore owner. And so I say that, you know, I'm pretty fluid in the book publishing industry. This is all that I want to do is meet with you cool people and figure out how I can serve you and help me. And so I've been doing this for the last 4 years, and each year it just gets better and better. And so thank you so much for making time to join me and just talk about our books. And I'm so I am so proud of you ladies. You all have so much going on, and I am so inspired. I'm so inspired by you. If we can, let's start with CJ. Like, what's your overall goal for your book?
My overall goal for my book is to see every little girl have my main character on their bedspread. They have a lamp, they have a backpack, they have a beach towel with her face on it. I want a cartoon. I want the whole kid in caboodle. So not just a book, but I want like a brand. I want I want ponytails on every little girl's head. I want ribbons, bows. I just think it's super important for us to see us everywhere we are. You know, I want dolls. I want her to be, I want kids, the new hottest Christmas toy. I want it to be her and the characters in her classroom. And that's for me, that's my big vision. Not just the books, but really to make her into a household character that, you know, we all want to have our kids, our girls, you know, baby shower toys and the whole thing. So that's my bigger vision for her. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. How about for you, Ty? What's your goal with your book or with your books?
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned baby showers because I kind of see bearing fruit being the ultimate baby shower gift. Obviously, I wrote it when I was pregnant.
Nice.
And it's kind of poems to my daughter while she's in my belly.
Yeah.
I also want to give a voice to moms that are dealing with maybe postpartum or mental health issues while they're pregnant. Be so much more Black maternal mental health care or just maternal care in general. So I really want to kind of give a voice to people that maybe don't feel too comfortable speaking on their worries. I want to let them know that it's okay and you're not alone. And I went through it and I could talk about it. So it's okay for other people to talk about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Motherhood is and can be so scary. It's not like our babies are born with a manual that follows them.
No.
So I mean, I know all of us here, we get that. And I'll share even my goal about my book, this most recent one, Gratitude Poetry, is just a reminder. I'm not a relationship coach or anything like that, But you know, one of the things that I hear when I was studying to become a therapist is a lot of relationships don't last because someone doesn't feel appreciated. And so I wrote this book to, hey, what's up, girl?
Hey.
I'll give you a chance to speak in just a second. I'm going to finish answering this question and then you can introduce yourself. But what I was saying is like in a lot of relationships fail because of lack of appreciation. And so I just wrote some short poems that people can recite or include in greeting cards to let their loved ones know how much they appreciate them. And it doesn't have to be a Father's Day, it doesn't have to be Mother's Day, it doesn't have to be some big holiday for us to show appreciation for the people that are in our lives. And so that's where like my goal had come from, and it's just spreading this message of gratitude and gratefulness for our teammates, the people that are in our lives that we love and care about. And so anyways, welcome to the stage, ma'am. Can you tell us your
Hi.
name and about your book? And what we were sharing is goals. What goals do you have for your book?
Okay, so peace and blessings, everyone. My name is Frenchier Gardner. I'm here in Dallas, Texas. And my children's book is Mommy and Daddy, Do You Still Love Me Anymore? And it's an award-winning book. And pretty excited about the book. Are we talking about the book or just making just kind of like an introduction?
Introduction and then goals. What's your goal for your book?
So my goal is to start getting some donations, so because there's a lot of books, places and schools that I want to donate my book to, and organizations. My book is focused on foster children and adopted children, and so I'm really just trying to get help to get the books in as many foster children and adopted children as possible. My next goals also is to translate the book into Spanish.
Hey, come on now.
Yes, and make it an audiobook.
Nice. Yeah, audiobook
Great.
is where it's at. I have been doing some research on that, and I'm, even thinking about doing that, creating an audiobook. Just you reach a whole nother demographic than with an ebook or a paperback book and stuff. And so, wow,
Yeah.
okay, so many wonderful, amazing goals. My thing is, so I have like this secret pleasure of just knowing you all, because I know that when you guys reach your goals, I'm going to be on the other side of the screen like, woo, I know her, I remember when. And so absolutely, I'll be sharing this live on YouTube when we get done with this. And so, yeah, okay, so the next question. So we shared goals, but like and maybe you've already said it, but if you don't mind saying it again, like what's the overall message of your book? We could start with Ty and then go to CJ.
Yeah, so I just want women who are afraid of others to not be so afraid. It's something that, as you said, like kids don't come with a manual,
Yeah.
and it is kind of day by day, and it is stressful, it is emotional, but at the end of the day, it's like one of the greatest blessings, and it honestly changed me, and I'm a better person because of my daughter, and that's just from who she is. And coming from me, who doesn't have the best relationship with my family, I was always so afraid of being a mom, and I would not change a thing. She changed me for the best. I would not be a published author right now without her. I would not be doing spoken word and nominated to be my city's poet laureate without her. So the whole point of my book is to empower women to not fear motherhood as much, and don't apply so much pressure on yourself, and just kind of go with it and just follow your heart, really, and it's okay to be emotional. It's okay to make mistakes. We all do. Nobody's perfect. And I just want other women to know that what you're going through is normal, and we all do. I'm just the only one who's probably brave enough to really say how it is. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Nice. Love it. How about for you, CJ?
Okay, I didn't want to just jump in. For me, my overall message for me was that I wanted to applaud motherhood, but in a from the children's perspective. Not necessarily single mothers, because I think that's always a stigma in our community, but just motherhood in general. Like, so my character, she sees her mom making dinner, and to her mom's a chef, but to the mom, it's like burnt, chicken nuggets and French fries, and she's like, "Oh Lord, I'm giving this to my kids again." But the daughter's like, "Yes, this is gourmet. She loves us. We're getting chicken nuggets twice." You know what I mean? So it's like, I want parents and mothers to understand that, like, those everyday things that you're doing, your children, your daughters are watching, they are appreciating, and they are marveling at the little things that you think are just like, "Oh, I can comb her hair." Trying to get through this stuff in the 80s before all these products came out, she was a miracle worker, okay? There was no curly pudding back then, okay? This is grease and some water and a brush. So it's like, even still, nobody can braid my hair like my mother can. And, even when I go to the braider, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I just want mothers to know, especially Black mothers, women of color, like, you're doing a phenomenal job. You don't need to keep up with anybody else, because what your daughter sees is like, wow, I want to be her. So that's what my overall message is from my series, my whole series of books.
That is beautiful. Beautiful.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
Well, my book, Mommy and Daddy, Do You Still Love Me Anymore, is a love letter to my 4 children, Joseph Jr., French Heir 2, Melchizedek, and Sarai. And the global message of the book is to give hope and send love to children and adults who have been in foster care or who have experienced adoption. Because many times they feel abandoned in some form or fashion by their parents when they get taken and put in these systems. And so I just want to remind them, not only just my own children, but remind all of them, to let them know that, hey, their biological parents is still thinking about them, still love them, misses them so much. And so I just want them to be aware of that.
Yeah,
That's
awesome. Beautiful. Oh my gosh, and I didn't even realize this, that each of you has like a book connecting with motherhood. That is so intentional.
That's beautiful.
That was not
I was paying attention to that.
I'm like, wait a minute.
Good job.
But what I love about this, right, is like the overarching thing that I wanted to talk about is like the culture, right? It's Juneteenth. A lot of Juneteenth celebrations are happening this weekend. And so I definitely wanted to talk about culture and just the Black woman's impact on the book publishing industry. For those who do not know, the book publishing industry is only made of 4% African Americans. 4%.
That's really low.
That's it, baby. That's it. Okay. And so it just does something to my chest. Like, my chest is a little tight right now, even sharing that. But what I want to highlight in like my overall like vision for, just us getting together and talking about our books is just to inspire other women, other Black women, other African Americans, if people don't like the term Black, because I realized last night I was on Instagram Live and someone was like, Black is a slave term. Okay, if we're going to be picky about words, I'm so sorry. Black, African American, copper, toad, whatever you feel like is necessary. Okay. But the thing is like, we need to know that there's people that look like us out here really going hard. And so to hear about you guys' accomplishments and your goals and your messages is so inspiring. And so I know, Ty, you kind of shared what you have coming up next. CJ, I don't know if I heard what you said you were doing next. And what about you, Frencher? What are some things that you have coming up?
So I just actually got into a library today, so I'm really excited. So I'm going to be doing, thank God, the hustle and introduction, but I did it. So I'll be in a library. I spend my weekends. Hi, how are you? Hi, how are you? Great to meet you. This is my book.
Yeah.
So in libraries and working on doing storytime circles in public settings. That's what I'm working on. And and book number 2 should be out in less than a month. So nice. I'll do a cover reveal soon.
I am I have my book. My book is now available at New York Public Library. I think.
Wow, me
Hey.
too.
Thank
Congrats.
you. So that's exciting. So
Yeah.
working on getting it into more libraries like locally, and I like to start doing some more like some physical events. Like I kind of actually finally have the
Mhm.
funds to like buy a box of books and
Okay.
actually like show up at events and then so I'm ready to start doing that and start meeting some new readers in
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
person.
Yeah.
I also want to set up some story times here in Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
um but the most major thing, like I said, is going to be the audio book being produced
Mhm.
and translated into Spanish. Those are my next two things that I'm really going to be focusing on.
Nice. I
Awesome.
love that. And I love that you all are looking at doing in-person events and story times and getting in your community. I think I had met CJ at one of my events in San
Oh,
Diego.
Yes,
nice.
And
right.
I was so
That's
shocked that
right.
That's cool.
she like
So my
Yes, I do. Oh, there she goes. Okay.
okay,
Can
sorry
you hear
about that.
us?
What the
Okay.
heck? You can finish what you were saying and then I'll catch up on what I was saying.
Uh,
We
we
were
don't want
just
to have dead
filling
air.
in.
We're just filling the air.
Okay, okay.
Go ahead.
What I was saying is I had an event in San Diego last year, and that's where I had met CJ. I was so impressed. She had drove up from Riverside, which is close, but not that close. It ain't that close to just be popping in and dropping off a book. And so I had like remembered that, and I wanted, to just try and include you in everything or as many of the things that
Oh,
I
thank
could.
you.
But let's talk
Thank
about
you.
that. Let's talk about the importance of getting in our communities and how that, not only impacts our revenue, but just, how does that make you feel being able to, get out and sell your book and meet readers?
If you guys don't mind, I'll jump in really fast. I had a really fantastic event. I've been doing a lot of vending, and I've set up vending for every weekend for the rest of the summer, basically.
Wow.
And it's so wonderful to get out and meet people because people, they're not just buying your book, they're buying you.
Mm-hmm.
They're buying your story. My mom comes out and vends with me, and people are tickled pink to know that the mom in the story is the lady talking to them right there. They are
Wow.
tickled pink. So she sells it, she likes to tell her stories from the 80s. And so I just feel like it's really impactful because people are really buying you and what you're selling. So
Mm-hmm.
I think it works hand in hand. And I just love meeting people, and everyone has a wonderful story. So I think that's really a great way to get out there and meet, and get the numbers up. It's a great way.
Yeah. French or Thai?
Yeah, I actually haven't been able to do any like book signings and stuff, and I would love to. Like
Mm.
COVID, kind of messed up my like book
Yeah.
launch plans, which was pretty
Yeah.
annoying, you know. But I'm really looking forward now to being able to connect with people and have my book at like Chapters and Barnes and Noble, and have some book signings.
Yeah.
My
Mm-hmm.
like book is already available through their online platform, and I'm working on getting it in like one of the like malls here in Canada that I like grew up reading books at as a child.
Oh,
Oh,
Um,
that's neat.
so that is like
yeah.
true to have my book there. So I'm currently in contact with the, people who take care of that stuff. Um,
Sure.
but yeah, in person is so different because you actually get to connect with people who are reading your words. As
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
mentioned, there's like something different about that physical like connection that COVID has not allowed us to have. you know, especially here in Canada. I don't know about you guys, but like I'm in Canada, everything's been locked up. I'm ready to get outside, like right now.
Yeah.
LA opened back up, so yeah, that's funny.
It's pretty open here in Dallas, but I haven't really had the opportunity to do any vending here because of the main reason is because I have a full-time job.
Mm.
And I started it in January, and so I've really been just focusing on the job and just doing really well at the job. And I work on the weekends, and so the events are mostly on the weekends.
Yeah.
So I've done a few virtual events, but they didn't really pan out. You know, I don't recall getting any sales from it, you know.
Yeah.
So I remember when before I became an author, I was selling children's books from my good friend, Dr. Tamara Pizzoli. She's the English Schoolhouse books. And oh man, I was working in St. Louis and they were loving the books, you know, in person. So I'm really, really excited and really desire to get back out and be, you know, in person because um I've always got my best sales in person. You
Yeah.
know, I'm not really doing that great online. So I think I would probably do very well if I got into some of these in person events. So that's gonna be my goal for like my next bid. Like I'm gonna try to bid for a schedule where I'm off on weekends, and so I can have the accessibility to be able to show up.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's something that I see happen with a lot of independent authors is if you're working a 9 to 5, it's hard to find that time to really get out there and share your book like you would want to. And so I think that, you know, and this is my publisher hat that I'm putting on. And so I'm thinking there's so many marketing tools. And I hope that you all would, you know, after I post this to YouTube, that you share it to your websites and share it to your pages as an event that you were a part of and, you know, show your readers that, hey, I'm active. You might not be seeing me in person, but I'm active online and just doing anything, you know, videos, whatever, even if it's just by yourself, those kind of things can help. Just showing up wherever you're able to can help. But last year, even in the middle of COVID, I was doing events. I don't know what had came over me.
Nice.
Nobody was
That's
gonna
what's up.
tell me that I couldn't have an event even in the middle of COVID. Yes, it was difficult as hell. Okay, I ain't even go lie. It was difficult, but I had five. I had 5 events last year. This year, not
Nice.
so much, but that's okay. I've had to shift my focus, and one of the things that I'm proud of, and I hope that, you know, by the time I get there, we would all still be in touch, is I'm looking to open a bookstore in the next 3 to 6 months. And so I hope
Nice.
that I will have more copies of your all books in my store, and just wanting to be able to host these in-person events and continue to do some stuff online. I think that it's important that we show up for ourselves, for our reader, and absolutely for the culture. I mean, you know, it's hard out here. It's hard. But that's why, you know, it's important to have a community of people that you can tap in with and lean on and stuff. And so let's see what else. Anything else? I don't really have that many questions. I think you all had shared some wonderful things. Actually, if you don't mind, let's talk to the new writers who might be watching this thinking like, hey, I have a book. Can you give one piece of advice to them? And we can start with Ty and then Frencher and CJ.
Okay. For me, I've always just been writing my whole life, and it was something that gave me hope, something that was sad, something that made me happy. And as long as you're passionate about it and you know it's good, who cares what anybody else has to say? Publish a book, you do what you need to do. It's your book. You know what I mean? Honestly, because sorry, my daughter. Yeah. For me, also, I guess, just like research the like different publishing avenues that like you can use. You can use like traditional publishers. You can try to get a literary agent. You can do it yourself through Amazon. You can go through a publishing house like I did when I self-published my book. You can do it online. You can have, hardcover, paperback, whatever you choose. It is your creation. Okay, baby. Never off the clock. Where's your dad?
Go find him. How funny.
Yeah, no, that's great advice. That's great advice. What about you, Frencher?
I say put your good ideas out there. I published the first edition of my Kindle book in one day.
Oh, wow.
I literally woke up from a dream and wrote the story in one day and published it in one day, because I knew if I had sat on the story, I would have procrastinated and it never would have got out there. And so by me doing that, it led to me making the second edition, and the rest is history because it's award winning now. And so I would say put your stories out there, because there are specific people who the story is intended for. And so it's a part of he is so handsome. It's a part of, meeting your purpose when you're writing these books. Like these stories are necessary for people's lives. Like we are really, I really do believe authors and artists are really the impact people that really impact people in a positive way. And so I do feel like you really have to take that seriously.
Yeah.
Let's see. I think I would tell people, an aspiring writer, to write every day, write on notepads, index cards, back of receipts. I was actually looking at some receipts in the car. I have another idea written on the back of a receipt. Write. If you are a writer, then that is your life. I write every day, all day. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's shady, but write and invest in yourself. It's not going to be free, but you're worth it. If you woke up with an idea, that's because the creator gave it to you. He didn't give it to anybody else.
Yeah.
So take that idea, keep it to yourself, and write. And when it's done, then you can tell everybody what you wrote. Because if you start telling everybody, like you were saying in one day, if you would have stopped and shared that with somebody, maybe somebody would have poo-pooed your idea and you would have sat on it.
Yeah.
I sat on my book idea for 12 years because I was like, I was jotting down some ideas years ago in my 20s, and people were like, oh, that sounds weird. Why would she be a superhero? And I listened to them. And I'm like, why did I listen to them? I was smarter than that. So write all the time, get it out, just get it out. It doesn't have to be perfect, and hold on to your idea until you're ready to share it with everybody else. I think it's important.
Yeah, no, all of those are wonderful advice. And just, I feel like the overarching theme there is just right. And even that's something that I always share is like, right now, think later. Just write. And you can think about all of the other aspects when you get done with the writing part. But like, don't sit on it. And that was one thing that I was having a discussion with a friend about. It's like, he was asking me like, why do writers sit on their work? Like, are they waiting for like to meet a publisher, or like why do they do that? And I just was like, I don't know, I've never understood that. I've always just kind of put out my stuff with the thought that this is what I'm going to do for years. And so I think that's also a piece of advice that I would want to give is like, how long do you plan on being in this field for? Are you in it for a short time, or are you going to be in it for a long time? And if you expect that, I mean, we never know, life changes, and you maybe you can't put a date on it, but if you were to be able to put a date on it, would you say 5 years? Would you say 10 years? And if so, you have to keep in mind that maybe you'll get better as time goes on, right? I actually was in a training for publishers the other day, and they were talking about like your backlist, and how sometimes a new book is great and that just brings awareness on the author. And a lot of times it's like with TV shows, a TV show might be on Netflix and you watch the whole thing. They might have just dropped the 7th season, but you might have to start from season 1 to catch up. And so books work that way too. And so let's say you just dropped your book last year. Well, that's your first season. You got about 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 more 60 more to go. And one of those might be able to be the one that really sets things off for you. And so go ahead and build that backlist. Don't sit on anything, because you never know when it's going to be your time to pop, and how, you know, having those books on your backlist will affect everything. And so definitely write, think later, publish it, go through your different publishing options, and then, you know, keep going, keep moving forward. And so I love that. But I want to go back to something that you had said, Franchère, was authors and artists impact people. Absolutely. You all shared amazing messages and amazing visions. And it's those things that are going to like change the world, right? And that was something that I had shared before any of you had jumped on with me, is I think that creative people are those that make the world go round. Because while we're talking about book writing, think about like the commercials that we watch, the TV that we watch, the news that we watch. Guess what? A writer has had to get that down on paper before it can be turned into visuals. And so you guys are amazing world changers. And so I definitely want to make sure that you get your flowers and that you know that, because who knows what could happen and could come from your book. But I know that whatever happens and whatever comes from your book, I'm going to be cheering you on and celebrating with you. And
Thank
so
you.
absolutely, absolutely. Let's see what else. Let's share, because I think sometimes people think like writing and publishing is so easy. And I mean, I don't know, what have been some of the obstacles that you have overcome? Let's start with CJ.
It's so much more challenging than the pretty little cover everybody sees. Okay, so for me, my biggest challenge was, well, I have two big challenges. One, for people to believe that I actually wrote the book.
Wow.
Everyone's always like, really? You wrote it? Yes. It's every day. Even children. I was selling my book in Temecula not too long ago, in a city here outside of LA. And the little girl came up to me, she said, "Are you selling this for somebody?" And I was like, "Do you think I dragged all this stuff from the car, sweating, and dragged my mother who's retired?" And I was like, "No, sweetheart, it's mine." And people come up and say that all the time, like, "This is like yours, CJ?" It's very irritating. So that's one thing. And then the second thing for me was finding an illustrator that I connected with who would draw people of color. I wanted a Black woman's nose. I wanted Black little girl hairstyles. So that was the other challenge, is finding someone who would draw the way I saw my characters that, you know, I recognize. Because I've gone through 5 illustrators before I found the illustrator that I work with now. And it's just hard. Everyone can't draw us. Everyone can't.
Wow.
They don't get it. So that was hard. Yeah.
Yeah. How about you, Franchère?
Challenges. The first one was, I was trying to figure out, when I first wrote the book, trying to figure out how to get it onto a paperback, because I had an illustrator who I just sent page numbers of my book and told her, okay, I want you to illustrate this, which several, which specific pages. And so I literally had just these, like 11 by 16 of my book, my illustrations. But I was like, well, what am I gonna do with this? How do I scan? How do I make it a book? How do we format it? Yeah. And so I started out with a guy who was going to do it for me. And he was like, he's going to do it for me for free. I was really excited. I was like, yeah, I'm supposed to get this done. But it never happened. So I had to find somebody to format my book. That was my first challenge was, well, how do I get this? How do I put the illustrations and the text together? Yeah. So I do want to thank my formatter is Ozuri Designs, and she's a sister out of Hawaii. Nice. And so so she does it, and she's actually going to be the one that's going to translate my book into Spanish as well. What? And so that was one challenge, and then the other challenge is just marketing. It's just me. I haven't really figured out the greatest strategy. The strategy I do have does get my books out there. But I know I can do more. I know that I need to hire somebody That's where I'm at right now. I just need to hire a virtual assistant.
There you
I
go.
don't need to be sending these emails out. I need somebody else. I need to pay somebody to do these emails.
I need an
Outsource.
intern. I
Yeah.
need an
Run
intern.
this
Yes.
social media. I don't have time for that. You know, I just ain't nobody got time for that. I just want to write the book and show up and look pretty like, hey,
I mean,
it's me, I did it. So that's where I'm at. I think it's just that's my challenge is actually the marketing. And I think if I can get some good marketing out there, I could get some regular consistent sales,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. How about you, Ty? You good?
I'm trying.
Hi, baby girl. Hi.
Say hi. You don't want to leave my
Oh, now you're shy.
Now you're gonna be shy. We see you.
She actually just booked her first modeling job. She's in a Pampers commercial.
Ooh,
Oh my God!
Wow!
Congratulations,
Congrats!
Cutie
flowers.
patootie.
Woohoo! Okay.
Love
Hey,
this. Snaps for her.
All right. Sorry, what was the question? I'm like,
Just some difficulties that you might have had as an author so far.
so I guess going into it, I didn't realize how much it would be using it's okay, baby. Just give mommy 1 minute. I didn't realize how expensive it would be to go with some of the self-publishing packages. Like for my book, I got the ebook, hardcover, paperback, and I have it like basically everywhere, like online.
Nice.
And luckily, I was able to do some crowdfunding, which covered half of the cost. And
nice.
I
Nice.
covered the other half myself. Another thing, I didn't realize that it would take almost a year for them to make my book.
Yes.
So that was something I was not prepared for. I was so ready, after I wrote it to, get out and start selling it. And, I was like, oh my God, it actually takes 9 months for them to make my, Lord.
Oh!
Okay, she wants to play the guitar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and
Can I add one more thing?
go ahead.
I just wanted to say I was also surprised about how much lawyer fees are. The lawyer has cost me, I don't even know how much money, but to
Fees for
copyright and
what?
trademark stuff.
Oh,
Yeah, you got to copyright and trademark your stuff. If I'm gonna be in this game until I leave this planet. So
Yeah.
I need to make sure that I'm protecting my ideas. And the lawyers are not cheap. That was a huge surprise. I know they weren't free, but I was like, whoa, is this standard pricing? Is this accelerated pricing? What is this?
Yeah.
So that was a surprise for me as well.
And I'm just going to put on my author's hat and say, let's talk financing, right? And so even with a couple of my authors, I know Ty had said she did some crowdfunding. That's an option to get your book funded. Another way is if you come up with a business plan for your book and you have decent credit, maybe even getting a personal loan for your book. And I've seen authors do that, and that really pushes them and drives them to do what they said they were going to do in their business plan as far as marketing so that they can recoup that money and pay the bank back. And so those are some options. I know I tried doing Kickstarter. That didn't work out well for me, but I think that it works out well when you are active in your community. I was doing a lot of moving around, so I wasn't I didn't have a set community that I was busy and involved in. But there's options. A lot of writers will say, oh, I don't have the money to publish my book. I don't have the money to purchase my ISBNs. I don't have the money to do this, and that. But if you have the time to study and learn how to do it, you can pretty much learn how to do it all on your own. You can use free resources. I know we all had shared about Amazon Kindle Direct Publishing. Yeah. You can put your book up there for free. You just need to know how to do the book formatting, okay? You need to know how to do the design of your book. You need to know what the requirements are, and that takes time. And so you got to either decide, am I going to take the time to learn how to do each step, or am I going to save some money, right? Because if you're working a 9 to 5 or you have some sort of income coming in, you can also save to afford some of these services that you're needing. You don't have to do it all alone. And that's something that I definitely say on my own personal account, Miss Wynn, is, you can self-publish, but you don't have to self-publish alone. You can have, certain people that you call on to do things for you. That way it's not so stressful. And if you really want to do it, you're going to find a way. Okay. Just like a crackhead will find money for some crack, baby, you better operate the same way when it comes to publishing that book. You can't tell me what you can't do. Okay. If you really want to do it, you can get it done. And so, wow, this was awesome. Any closing remarks? We could start with Friend Share.
Okay, I want to just encourage you, any of you that are thinking about writing, just encourage you to go ahead and just do it. Just put it out there. Don't be afraid. Your story is meant to touch people, and so remember that. Remember that the story is not about you, or the experience that you might want to share is not about you. It's about the people who are out there that it's going to touch. And I want to thank my people who showed up to the live. So thanks, Will and Jared. I saw Polly,
Okay.
Mia's Book World Club. So I saw a few of my peers show up. So thanks for guys for showing up.
CJ?
I think I just want to, like she said, encourage everybody to keep writing and to tell the stories that they want to see. And don't be afraid of the word no. People tell me no literally every day, if not twice a day. And I just smile and say, okay, thank you. I'll be back in 6 months. Thank you so much. I'll put it on my calendar. I'll just come back.
I love that.
Yeah. I'll just call you back. So that's it. Keep doing it.
And me, I guess I would like to say that Bearing Fruit is available on Amazon. You can get it on
do it.
You can get it in Indigo, Barnes and Noble, hardcover, paperback, ebook.
I'll read that.
And thank you guys for tuning in. As I mentioned, I am nominated to be my city's next poet laureate. You guys can follow me. Thank you. Yes, on YouTube. I just became a grant winner today. More details will come out.
Yay! Congratulations.
Bringing hip hop meets poetry concerts. Okay.
Yes.
I want to go to Canada. I want
to go.
Let's go. Okay. Road trip.
Road trip. Aren't you guys at the border?
Yeah. Right. For this opportunity, and it's amazing being able to experience other boss Black women goddess energy. So thank you for allowing me to be here.
Absolutely. And I guess my closing remark is, I don't know. I don't really have nothing else to say. Just thank you, ladies, so much for even answering the call to join me. And actually, you know what? Maybe I'll read you a poem. Okay, I'm going to read you a poem from my book, Gratitude.
Okay.
Because absolutely, I believe that, like I said earlier, it's important to show those who work with you, not really work for you, right? But work with you. It's important to show gratitude to them. And so the first poem that I'm just gonna read one, and it says, time is precious and so are you. Thank you for being here. I appreciate all that you do. And that's it. Just something real short, sweet to the point.
I like that.
Thank you all. Thank you all for tuning in. The replay will be up on YouTube here within the next hour. And yeah, I'll be here again tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, just sharing tips and tricks and hacks for self-publishing authors. And so check back in with me again tomorrow night. Otherwise, I'll see you all later. Have a good week.
Thanks.
Peace.
Have a great
happy birthday to you too.
Oh, thank you. I did have a birthday.
Oh, happy birthday.
Thank you. Bye.
Peace.
Oh, thank you, baby. See ya.